Welcome back to WION Newspoint, where we bring you the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Today we're covering a critical situation unfolding in Ukraine's capital as the country faces yet another devastating wave of Russian military aggression. Just hours ago, Kyiv came under intense bombardment from Russian forces. Multiple explosions have been reported across the city, with at least 9 people killed in the initial strikes, though authorities suggest the death toll continues to rise. According to Kyiv City's military administration, at least 4 people have been confirmed dead, with a staggering 58 individuals injured in these coordinated attacks. The scale of this assault has forced thousands of residents to flee their homes and seek shelter in underground metro stations, which are now serving as emergency bomb shelters. The destruction is widespread. Power outages have been reported across multiple districts throughout the capital, and fires have erupted in numerous locations across the city. Air defense units have been working tirelessly to intercept incoming missiles, but the sheer volume of the attack has overwhelmed their capacity to prevent significant damage. Russian forces are deploying ballistic missiles in this assault, demonstrating the military's commitment to a sustained campaign against Ukrainian infrastructure and civilian populations. As thick smoke billowed from central Kyiv following the strikes, residents were captured on video scrambling desperately toward underground metro stations, carrying essential belongings and blankets with them. The scenes are harrowing, showing the human cost of this ongoing conflict. Children, elderly citizens, and families huddle together in the darkness, hoping to survive the next wave of attacks. But Kyiv is not the only city suffering. In the eastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro, Russian strikes have killed 5 people and wounded at least 25 others. In Kharkiv, the Sloviansk district came under fire, resulting in 8 people injured. The geographic spread of these attacks demonstrates Russia's strategy to target multiple population centers simultaneously, stretching Ukrainian air defenses thin and maximizing civilian casualties. This latest assault on Kyiv comes just 1 week after Russia deployed its powerful hypersonic Kinzhal ballistic missile against the Ukrainian capital. That previous strike resulted in 4 deaths and injured over 100 people. The frequency and intensity of these attacks suggest an escalation in Russia's military campaign, signaling a shift toward more aggressive targeting of civilian infrastructure and population centers. So what's driving this intensification of violence? According to Russian President Vladimir Putin, the escalation is in response to Ukrainian military actions. Putin has blamed Ukraine for attacking a student dormitory in Starodub in Luhansk, an attack that resulted in 21 deaths and over 40 injuries, including teenage students and teachers. He has also accused Ukraine of striking Henichesk in Kherson, killing 1 child and injuring 11 others. Putin has characterized these incidents as crimes against children and has vowed accountability. In a recent statement, he declared, "All of them must receive the punishment they deserve, and it will be inevitable." It looks like it was done consciously committing the most serious crimes against children and teenagers at the Teachers' College in Starodub. And now in Henichesk, the Kyiv leadership has decided to open a new page in the series of their crimes, add a new attribute of the conflict itself. Well, it is their own choice. In response to Putin's accusations, the Russian president has summoned top investigators to pursue those he believes are responsible for these attacks. This rhetoric from Moscow suggests that Russia intends to continue its military operations against Ukraine, using civilian casualties as justification for further strikes against Ukrainian targets. However, Ukraine is not sitting idle in the face of this onslaught. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has claimed that Ukrainian forces have significantly disrupted Russia's energy infrastructure. According to Zelensky's statements, Ukrainian forces have struck 15 Russian oil refineries between January and May of this year, knocking out nearly 40% of Russia's refining capacity. This counteroffensive strategy is designed to weaken Russia's ability to sustain its military operations and to inflict economic damage on the Russian state. The economic impact of this prolonged conflict is becoming increasingly apparent. According to a report from Bloomberg, senior officials from Russia's finance ministry and central bank have cautioned President Vladimir Putin that the country's military expenditures in Ukraine are on an unsustainable trajectory. This internal concern within Russia's economic leadership suggests that the financial burden of the war is becoming untenable, even for Moscow's decision-makers. Despite the grim military situation, there are glimmers of hope for peace. Kyrylo Budanov, the head of Ukraine's presidential office, has stated that he believes reaching an agreement to end the war before winter remains a realistic objective. Budanov emphasized that this is the president's instruction, to try to end this war as soon as possible, preferably before the winter months arrive. This statement from Budanov is significant because it suggests that Ukrainian leadership is actively exploring diplomatic channels and peace negotiations, even as Russian missiles continue to rain down on their cities. The goal of achieving a ceasefire before winter is driven by practical concerns. Winter conditions would make military operations more difficult and would increase the suffering of civilians caught in the conflict. The broader implications of this conflict extend beyond Ukraine's borders. Reports indicate that Russian drone strikes and military operations are affecting neighboring countries, particularly Romania, which shares a border with Ukraine. There have been multiple incidents of Russian drone debris crossing into Romanian airspace and even causing casualties among Romanian civilians. These incidents have raised concerns among NATO members about the potential for the conflict to expand beyond Ukraine's borders. Romania's foreign minister has condemned Russian drone incursions into Romanian territory, and there have been reports of a mother and child injured in a drone explosion in Galati, a Romanian city near the border. These incidents highlight the precarious security situation in Eastern Europe and the potential for the Russia-Ukraine conflict to have spillover effects on NATO's eastern flank. The situation at the Black Sea and the broader European security crisis continues to deteriorate. NATO border tensions are at their highest levels since the Cold War, and there is growing concern about Russian airspace violations and the overall destabilization of the region. The impact of the Ukraine war on regional security cannot be overstated, as it threatens to draw NATO members into direct confrontation with Russia. As we continue to monitor this developing situation, it's clear that the Russia-Ukraine conflict remains one of the most pressing geopolitical crises of our time. The humanitarian toll is staggering, the economic costs are mounting, and the potential for further escalation remains high. The international community must continue to support Ukraine while also exploring every possible avenue for peaceful resolution. For the latest updates on the Russia-Ukraine war and its impact on global security, stay tuned to WION Newspoint. We'll continue to bring you comprehensive coverage of this critical situation as it develops. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next update.